Hello everybody and welcome to Hairdresser Power. And today we have the lovely, amazing, and just incredible, unbelievable, right? Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's
Should
good
I keep
enough.
going or no?
Well,
Stephanie
always
Hodges, and
Thank
she's
you.
Steph,
Steph
and then
Styles.
H.
Yes,
Styles, right?
exactly.
And the H is for hair, or what is that?
Well, it's for Hodges,
Hodges,
but
got it.
originally when I was trying to make my name, Steph Styles was taken. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, my last name is H and it kind of fits in the middle, so
like it.
let's just do it.
I like it, I love it, I want more of it, okay?
Okay.
So thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And where's your salon located?
We're in Oak Park, California,
Okay.
which is, nobody really knows where that is. It's a suburb of Thousand Oaks of Westlake Village.
Yes.
And yeah, we have 55 chairs.
Oh wow,
It's a
big
big
boy.
place.
Yeah.
Big place.
Biggest chair, the biggest salon I ever owned had, I think, 35, 40 chairs, but it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you the owner, or
Oh
do you
God,
rent?
no!
Or?
Goodness, no. No, Cleo is the owner.
Okay.
Our salon is Cleo Hair Salon. She's an
Awesome.
amazing woman-owned business, and
Yeah.
she's been a salon owner for over 40 years.
Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible to work there.
So speaking of 40 years, how long have you been doing hair?
You know, it was funny because I knew you were going to ask me that question, and I've been saying 10 years for so long, even before
Now
it
it's
really
20?
was 10 years.
No, just
No, I
kidding.
think it's like 13 now. I don't.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So I actually was looking in my wallet. Where's my cheat sheet? And I couldn't find it. I think it's 13.
13 years.
Yeah, 13
wow.
years, yeah.
So now, where did you get your training?
I went to an adult school in Simi Valley.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to Simi Valley Adult School of Cosmetology, and then went and assisted a couple of places, and ended up at Cleo 6 years ago.
How was your experience assisting?
You know, it taught me a lot about what not to do as much as it taught me what to do. So
I feel the same way.
yeah, it was, we all have to go through it if we want to successfully run a business.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned a lot about, we don't talk about ourselves. I learned a lot about how to make color.
Yes.
So, you get the
Rinse
good and the bad.
bowls, fold towels, stock shelves,
Yes.
run the books, which is all important stuff they don't teach you in beauty school.
Yeah, I didn't get to run the books and I didn't get to apply color, but I
Okay.
did. It was what most valuable lesson is. She would say, okay, I need you to make me blah, blah, blah. And so after a few weeks, I'd say, can I guess what this formula is? And she would let me guess, and I was wrong for like 6 months. And then I started to really get it.
Yeah.
And the lesson to me now is that a new guest can walk in and they can have a certain thing, and I can know in my head what it is because visually I know what the color is.
Absolutely. That's a
So
good way to learn.
It was very valuable, and that's what I'm trying to teach my assistant now.
Well,
too.
that's the thing too, since I went through assistant programs as well, it's really made me appreciate that when I have an assistant, the ability to, make sure they understand. Because sometimes you just say, okay, because you didn't want to get fired,
right,
right?
right.
Seriously, but I make sure, now do you really understand what I just said? And make them feel not intimidated.
Well,
and
that's
and
exactly what we do.
Yeah, that's the way to do
Okay,
it.
so tell me why we're
Yes.
doing this.
The why, exactly.
I remember when I was assisting, I'll never forget this. We had this redhead who was 100% gray, and we'd been doing I Love Lucy Red on her forever, and suddenly she wanted to be platinum blonde.
Okay.
So I'm at the shampoo bowl, and we're toning in P.
Yeah.
And she's turning Easter egg purple.
Oh.
And I am losing my mind because I'm the one doing it to her.
Right.
And so I said, I'll be right back. And so I walk over and I've got purple fingers and bubbles, and I'm like, she's turning purple, she's this color. She's like, that's fine, she's okay. But I remember thinking, I don't understand why we're doing this. And
Right.
and she was lavender, but she's like, oh, she'll be okay in a couple shampoos.
Yeah, just trying to get rid of that yellow.
But I didn't know why. I just knew I was turning her.
I
I was
know.
turning her Easter
Yeah.
egg purple. It was
Yeah.
it was terrifying.
Well, still, unfortunately, because I just did classes yesterday, I do classes all the time, all over the place. And I'm talking people that have been doing hair quite a long time, longer than you, that still don't, for some reason, they don't remember to go back to the color wheel, right? And that's your lifesaver, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's really funny because I'm a Redken certified colorist, so I've delved deep into into color theory, and it made me feel so good that when I transitioned in doing a lot of fashion colors, that I really got it that you can't do fashion colors without knowing color theory.
Yes.
Because that's all it is color
And
theory.
especially toning. That's a
And
big
toning.
deal. Yeah.
Toning is huge, knowing what, the undertones are and the base color. And
Yes.
yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, so, people think, you're so exciting. You have your Instagram so amazing with beautiful stuff and real funky and rainbows and unicorns and all that. But the basics are still important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why you're probably so successful at it.
Well, I work hard at it, you
Yeah.
know, and I always try to be better than I was yesterday. And, you know, I try not to compete with anybody but myself.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
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 So speaking of which, you know, now that you have this huge following and everything, so what are your word of advice? How did you develop it? How long did it take you? What's going on today? All those things.
So I would say I'm not there yet.
Okay.
My goal is to hit a certain number
Okay.
by the end of the year, but it's not really about numbers. You know, I'm very goal driven.
Okay.
So I try to say, okay, you know, this is the number that I want to get. Now let's forget about it. And I think consistency is super, super important. I think taking great photos and being consistent with that and learning how to do that. You know, Hair God Zito says, I'm not a better hairdresser than I was 10 years ago. I just take better photos.
Right.
And so I think
And
that's
the portrayal is better.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Tell the story, engage with your audience, evolve with what's going on. You know, a year and a half ago, everybody was doing mirror images, and now those aren't in anymore.
Yeah, they're not so cool.
No, they're not so cool. So you kind of just have to pay attention to what people are posting.
Well, I know that backgrounds, because I have people come in, same category as you guys coming in, and, you know, a lot of it's like the rainbow hair still, a lot of it's, you know, the fashion colors and things of that nature.
Right.
Getting into geometric cuts and colors now, I've noticed. But you know, a lot of people are talking about background color right now. And what do
Really?
they feel like? A white background, a gray background. What's your
Yeah.
feeling on background color?
I think that keep it clean, keep it simple. I was using a wood background for a while, and it was just this small plank, and I'd always have the emergency door on this side and the bathroom on this, and it always made me crazy, but I loved that piece of wood. And I was like, you know what, this part is making my brain do crazy things. So we just went over here, and now this is a white background, and it's fine.
Okay.
And then it showcases everything.
Right, your edges,
So-
everything like that.
Yeah, so just keep it clean, keep
Okay.
it simple, don't overthink it. The wall, it's a white wall.
Right. So now the other thing is lighting. So same discussion,
Yeah.
but everybody has an opinion, and I like to find out because
Yeah.
it's important. Natural light, ring light, you know, ambient light. What are you into? And what do you use to shoot with?
Okay,
Both.
so
Two questions.
again, I get kind of, I don't want to use the word OCD, but I do get a little crazy about making sure that my page is consistent and it's fluid and it looks good. And so I use a ring light indoors all the time.
Okay.
I never take pictures outside.
Okay.
I feel like it kind of blows out the color a little bit unless you're in the perfect lighting. And then for me, we have like a little courtyard. And so then I'm like, oh, well, there's the door and there's the bench. And then my eye goes all over the place. So for me, I use a ring light.
Okay.
Katie, my assistant, helps me hold it to get the great lighting. And then it's just against a white background. And
Okay.
that's my
Straightforward,
consistency.
simple, and you've got your consistency.
Exactly.
The other thing was, you know, as far as, I don't know where you are as far as your computer skills and all, and where were you coming into the business?
Well, I have good computer skills.
Okay.
Before I was a hairdresser, I worked in human resources.
Okay.
So you want to talk to me about your retirement plan, your insurance plan?
Like an
I can help you with
ESOP
all
or-
that,
yeah,
right?
right,
You know, so I used to be heavily on the computer.
Okay.
So I'm very confident on the computer. A few years ago, I actually built our salon website.
Oh, okay.
And we were having, I'm the director of social media for our salon. And so we were talking about, this is broken, we can't call the guy, we can't, and I just said, what if I go take a class and learn how to build a website? So I went to the adult school. I took a class.
Back
on
again.
Dreamweaver, yeah. I created our website, and then I went and I took a Photoshop class.
Oh, okay.
So because I have to take pictures of all the new employees.
Yes.
And so I'm proficient on it. I don't use a camera. I use my iPhone to take my pictures.
All right, good.
And I never edit.
Oh, you don't?
No, I might adjust the exposure,
Okay.
but that's it.
Okay.
I don't add color. I don't desaturate, saturate. I don't use any of that stuff. I think that's the only way to really be authentic.
It is more authentic, you know, more
Yeah.
believable.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's so funny, is you can always tell. You go look at somebody's story,
Yeah.
and oh, here's the story of this beautiful blonde that they did, and then they post it, and you're like,
Like you see them in the bowl when they're trying to tone it, and it's like, God, that's kind of orange, and then it's color corrected at the end. It's like platinum.
it's perfect. It's like, yeah. So
and they hide the breakage.
I just think better just stay it's it's hard to remember the lie that you've told. It's
Right.
easier just to tell the truth. So
Love it.
you know.
So then as far as getting into Instagram, computers, that's one thing.
Right.
But Instagram, different world.
Totally.
How was that for you? How was that transition getting into Instagram and everything?
It was, I treat it like a job, honestly.
Okay.
When I first started, it was my dogs. It was the collage of my son. And when I started to really take it seriously, those had to go.
Okay.
And it just had to be about the work. Somebody told me once that until you get over a certain number, people don't care about who you are. They only want to see your photos. And then after a certain time, when people get to know you, then they want to know who you are. So keep it professional, keep it just about the work, and then go from there. Now that we have stories, now I think that our personal lives can be a little bit in the stories.
Okay, and then that's another big question I like to ask every time: is video or still? And what's your rate? What are you feeling as far as your algorithm with that?
I try to post a video every 2 days.
Okay.
And videos are where everybody wants to see videos, and people want to see stories. I don't know what the statistic is, but somebody said it's like 75% of all people are only watching stories now. I don't know if that's the exact number, but it's a crazy number. So the idea is to do enough stories so that they want to click on your page.
Got you. To get engagement. Yeah.
To get engagement and to maybe comment on your photo and maybe give you a follow,
Yeah.
So.
And then, okay, let's say, last question. I know we have some questions coming.
Okay.
And then we'll look at your stuff. But I just,
Okay.
because now I got you here. I want to know what you think.
Okay.
So the thing is like, for example, I know maybe even 2 years ago, things were different on Instagram. It was a lot easier to build.
Oh, yeah.
And 4 years ago, like really
Yeah.
a lot easier. So today, with all the changes in the algorithms, what are some of the adjustments that you recommend?
I think as far as my business goes, I've added the videos.
Okay.
That's an adjustment. I've started engaging in stories, but everything else is still the same. You're going to post consistently. You're going to engage with people who leave comments on your page.
Right.
You're going to go out and you're going to engage with your community, your hair community. And yeah, I just think that you just need to engage. It's really about engagement, because why are we doing social media?
Well, I mean, some people do it because they need the shot. They need that endorphins, the
Right.
dopamine, the serotonin.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yeah, that's not why
that's
I do it.
a lot of them, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But we should be doing it because we want to build our clientele and increase our revenues. That's what we should be doing it. But
Exactly.
unfortunately, a lot of people, it becomes an obsession and an addiction.
Right.
Which is, hey, if that's their life, at least they're not hurting anybody. But they got to remember, why did they start it, right?
Exactly. To each their own, no judgment.
Absolutely.
But for me starting out, I like to look, again, I'm very goal driven, and I'm 47. So
Okay.
when
So you started doing hair a little later on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. I really did. I wanted to do it when I was 25, but then I got pregnant with my son, and
Okay.
then it became about the
Family.
401k and
Right,
the
yeah.
family and all that. So anyway, but I think that for me at 57, what do I want to be doing? And for me, I
What
want
do
to.
you want to be doing? Yeah, that's
Well,
a good question.
I want to be doing what I want to be doing, not what I have to be doing.
Right. Like, what I tell people in just engagement in general with business, because the industry's changed a lot, obviously. We have a lot of different kind of competition
Right.
from Ultas and beauty stores and people doing hair at home and the internet. And it's just really frustrating for people. And I do a
Right.
lot of classes to help people with that. But one of the things is that you want to get to the point, like say, for example, someone came in and goes, yeah, I could buy this on Amazon for cheaper than you're selling for me. At the point where I was, before I got into manufacturing, that wouldn't happen because I had a waiting list of people that were waiting to come see me. And if that person said that to me, I'd go, well, you're not going to be my client anymore. When you can get there,
Right.
and get rid of all the psychic vampires, without the psychic vampire spray, right? You don't have to do it. It's because you want to do it.
Right.
And that's kind of what you're talking about?
Exactly. I think that we are competing with such, I told you, my salon, there's 55 chairs, and there's another salon across the street.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do we?
Well, then you have the grocery store.
Oh, the grocery store, and
And
we don't
people
want to
doing
tell
hair
them.
at home.
Yeah, and their products at home aren't as crappy as they used to
No,
be.
because guess what they do? They go to the store, and 70% of what they sell in the store is to people that are doing hair at home.
Yeah.
And like the Centrix or the BSG stores.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Right.
And they say, oh, honey, come get your hair done at home, and because they don't have the overhead.
Right.
They give them the products at wholesale. How are we going to compete against that?
Yeah, we can't.
Well, you carry brands that aren't in the stores. But that's why I'm here. But yeah.
Right, exactly. And how do you set yourself apart? I love American Salon, their stories. Gordon Miller, he's my absolute dreamboat.
He's inspiration for you.
Oh my goodness, he's so amazing. And he was talking about how do we make ourselves different? You know, the guest that he's talking to right now, and you know, we don't just do one color. We don't just do 5NN root to tip on somebody, because they can do that at home. What if we integrate some highlights or some contouring lights or something that makes us special and do something that they can't do at home out of a box?
Yes, I agree.
Right? That's what keeps them coming
Well,
back.
unfortunately, and you know, and I'm not being critical, but a lot of the manufacturers that are our color go-to companies are sponsored by the people that are doing color for the grocery stores, and even have stuff now for the salons to sell to take home. It's changed a lot.
It has changed a lot.
How do you feel about all that?
You know, I don't think it matters how I feel about it,
Right.
because it just is.
I know.
And so what do we do?
We have to find a way
We just have to find a way.
elevate what we do, add extra value.
Exactly.
Do better services.
Exactly.
I agree.
I was laughing the other day because, again, in these podcasts that I listen to, what makes you special? Turning the chair for your client for them to come and sit in. And I was hugging a guest, and we were giggling and laughing about why she was here, and she's struggling to get in her chair. I'm like, well, that was a fail. And she said, what? I'm like, I'm supposed to turn the chair for you.
Yeah.
And so we had a laugh about it, but it took me back to, I'm providing a service.
Yes, for them.
For them.
Not for you.
Not for me, for them.
Yes.
How can I make a difference in their life?
Yes.
You know, even if it's just to be an ear to listen to, they've had a hard day, or they just want to not be spoken to at all because they've had a hard
They
day.
need to diffuse and look beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have my assistant give them an incredible shampoo
Yeah.
and turn the chair for them, and
You know, a big thing too is that and this is many years ago, I started incorporating many of my salons and myself, is instead of looking at them in the mirror, turn and face them and look at them in the eye.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that nobody looks you in the eye anymore, you know, except maybe when they're cussing you out in the freeway, you know.
Right, exactly.
So we need to be more personal in a lot of ways in this impersonal world.
A lot of times I'll drag over a stool before we start, and I'll sit down and, hey, how's it going? What's new?
Just to
and
diffuse and bond, right?
yeah, exactly. One of my coworkers, you know, in transitioning from not having an assistant to having an assistant, it was like, well, how do I do this and still run on time? And she was telling me that the way she does consultations is very different from the way that I do them. And she's like, Stephanie, you sit down and you ask them about their life first. I sit down and I say, so what are we doing with your hair first? And we talk about their life as I'm applying. And for me, I like to, she's not wrong, I'm not wrong,
Right.
you know, but I like to sit down and say, hey, what's going on? What's new? And I like to get that how do you do out of the way, and then say, how's your hair? How'd it go last time? Are we doing any changes? And then I go and I mix their color. But at that point, it's 1/4 instead of 5 So I'm still evolving on what the right way to do it is, but I really do like that connection that we get right at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, that's important in the consultation, because if you understand their lifestyle and their time management, oftentimes it's going to dictate what kind of style you're going to put them into. What kind of
Absolutely.
maintenance program they have. Are they going to have a flat iron? Are they going to round brush hair? All that's important.
Very
and that's
important.
understanding who they are as a person.
Exactly.
I have a couple of questions. I think we have a couple.
Okay.
Which is great, guys. Hey, if you have questions for Stephanie, we'd love to hear them. Okay. Oh, it's about social media. Because how many times a day or a week do you post? And you said you post every other day, right? Is that-
No, I
or-
post every day.
Oh, every day,
When
okay.
I'm really on it, I post twice a day, and then I try to post a video every 2 days.
Okay.
But I'm posting photos in between.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's say, for example, things just didn't work out that day, and it wasn't anything that you thought was that high of quality. What do you do in that case?
I will go into the archives and I'll repost something from 6 months ago.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good answer. Do you find that you get more likes with your style videos or your finished product videos, your finished looks?
My style videos, the styling videos, when they take off, they go nuts. So I did a thing a couple years ago that I saw somebody else doing, and I thought, oh, how am I going to be different in this social media? I'm friends with all these brilliant hairdressers. How am I going to be different? So I started doing 365 days of braids, and I did braiding every single day for a year, whether it was on a doll head, my assistant, I braided every single day. And when one of those videos would take off,
it was just through the roof.
Oh my gosh, I would get 1,000 new followers in a weekend because of a video taking off. Versus a photo, you don't really have that potential.
Okay.
Even if it's reposted on a couple of big sites. So I think doing the styling videos definitely does a lot for you.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
great advice, actually.
Oh, good.
So guys, videos are where it's at right now, huh?
So absolutely where it's at.
Another thing I wanted to ask you is back to the old assistant training and programs like that. So, I know you do a lot of the, Vivids and unicorns and whatever you want to call them, right?
Right.
Do you do a lot of grade coverage too? Is that your bread and butter?
Oh, absolutely, bread and butter.
Okay, and that's, what I tell people with that is that's where your assistant really helps.
Right.
Because once you get the formula down, that's where you can really, really double and triple yourself with an assistant, and it's safe.
It is safe. The problem becomes, you do 10 years of doing hair all by yourself.
Yes.
And then you try to break an assistant in, and they don't want the assistant applying their color.
I know, for a little while.
Even if they understand. Yeah. So my goal was to have my assistant applying 50% of my guests, not including highlights, balayage, not just touch-ups, 50% of that, right? But we still go back together to mix. Okay. So I'm still mixing the color.
And they're learning.
And then they're applying.
Okay.
So that's how we do it.
That's great. Yeah, that's actually a fantastic way to do it.
Well, it feels like it was a good compromise versus when I was learning, she would say, go make me a third, and a third of this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And I would go do it, and then she would apply it all.
Sure.
And I only made one mistake one time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a horrible mistake, but, it still went on her client's head.
Oh, I know. I've worked for a lot of busy hairdressers when I started off, and it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes, one language from one is completely different than another language. It's nice when they measure in grams and you can use a scale, and it's a little easier. It helps an assistant out that way.
Yes.
We had another question? So, yeah, I know. I've been there, and I agree. Do you offer private education or shadowing, they call it? Do you do that?
Yes. I've only taught one class officially outside of my salon.
Okay.
It is definitely a goal that I'm reaching towards. Shadowing, we could shadow. No one's ever asked me that before, but yeah, I would absolutely be open to that.
That's becoming kind of popular now and they do it with like doctors, and they do it with, obviously stylists, skincare specialists, because they want to see like how they perform, how they act, how they interact with their clients, how they set up their table, how they move. I mean, it's very helpful.
Yeah,
because remember, we're visual people, so sometimes the verbal is good, but when they actually see it and experience it, they really learn it.
Right.
So yeah, shadowing is great.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll be doing something and I'll look at Katie and I'll say, can you see what my brain's doing right now? And sometimes she'll say, oh yeah, absolutely, I get it. And then other times we'll go in the background and she'll say, okay, why were you thinking that again? So it's really cool that once you get a relationship with somebody, that they can start to really see what your brain is seeing.
Yeah.
And then they can.
Well, it's really important to get a good mentor. It really helps. I mean, unfortunately, people I did initially, it's just volume and learning through default.
Right.
And it's very stressful.
Yeah.
But I think people like yourself, like myself, when we have assistants now, we get that, and we can really nurture them and bring them along. That's very important.
Somebody said to me one time, if your assistant isn't successful, it's because you're not teaching them properly.
Yeah, the lack of communication, or
exactly.
maybe the way they understand.
Right, and it hit me like a ton of bricks,
Yes.
and I thought, oh, I think that's the most brilliant thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yep, and you know what I advocate, honestly, and I'm training new educators for my brands all the time, is when you're at a certain point, the next level, regardless of where you're at, is to learn to teach others.
Yes.
And that challenges you, and it makes you really know what you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that is very important. There is a point in every hairdresser's career that I think if they're very serious about the industry, they should get involved in educating and helping and training others and giving back.
Absolutely.
So good, we're on the same page.
Yes.
Now we have about 8 different things we're going to see today. We have some videos.
Okay.
And we have some pictures. So, and what we'll do is we'll look at them, and if anybody has any questions out there, make sure you ask us, and we'll have you break them down for us.
Okay.
So Stephen, you want to give us the first one? Wow. Ooh. That's beautiful. Is that
Thank you.
Is that a silver blue, or is it just the lighting, or what's going on? What is this color?
It is a dark silver at the base. It's a more denim-y blue, and then there's some violet tones throughout there.
Beautiful.
And there's that wood wall I was talking
Yeah,
about.
I was just going to say, there's your wood wall.
Yes.
You do your watermark, Steph Styles, I see here.
Yes.
And then also, I hear you're looking at a pretty heavy shadow root. Where was she starting on this procedure here?
Well, okay, so
Level-wise,
this is Jana. She's one of my favorite mermaids. She is a natural blonde.
Oh, wow.
That we started, she came from highlights to eventually.
So like she's 7'8", you're talking?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, she's one of those amazing ones that walk in the door.
Yeah.
Her challenge initially was blonding her root to tip, but skipping out those old highlights so that we didn't damage those.
Okay.
And then, so now she's blonde root to tip, and then she's been loving these dark, smoky, vampire-y colors lately.
They're kind of hot.
Yeah, so
They're
we've been
hot
a
right now.
really, really dark root with her lately, and then she just lets me play. She's a jewelry maker, and so she'll bring me, or she'll take pictures of stones, and she'll say, "What do you think of these?" And
wow.
And I think this was like
So
a
she brings
labradorite
in,
or something.
Bring in some nice inspiration for you.
Oh, absolutely, she does. She always has. Hey, look, I ran across this opal. That was really cool. What do you think? And then we just kind of go from there, and it's fun.
So now is this all direct eye?
Yes.
Okay, 100%.
Yeah, this is all pulp riot.
Okay, pulp right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And then, for example, I'm just putting it out there because we have several people that have come in that said they don't really like to touch silver. Not because it doesn't look beautiful, but because when they do work, they want it to be a really long-lasting advertisement for them.
Right.
And they just don't really feel that there's a longevity there. What's your feeling on that?
I feel the same way. I think silver it's such a tough color to do properly, and once you do get it properly, it's only there for 2 weeks and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So I think that you have to start out as a natural blonde and bleach it again, and get it really, really, really white before you can even try to put
start
silver
with a
on
blank
it.
canvas, like a white blank canvas.
You have to. There's nothing like knowing where you're yellow than putting silver on and having those spots turn green, and you're like, my eye told me it was white, but clearly there was yellow in there.
Obviously, yeah. So yeah, that is a challenge. That's a big challenge. Everybody sits here pretty much says.
I hate silver.
Okay, you said it.
I hate
good,
silver.
Consistent.
I mean, if somebody wants to pay me a lot of money and they want to sit in my chair a long time, then let's
You'll go
do
for
it.
And then you got to let them know what the expectations are.
Absolutely.
And the maintenance and everything else.
I remember when Vivids first started coming out, I would do colors, and 3 weeks later I'd get a phone call. The color is out, or it's super faded, and then I would be doing it for free over and over.
That becomes a corrective color.
Yes,
to
and
hell.
it was so, it's another 2-3 hours in my chair, and I'm doing it for free now. And so now it's embrace the fade.
Yeah.
That's really what you have to do, is embrace. You have to be using these great products, not shampooing very often, and then you have to embrace that fade.
Yes.
And then I'll see you in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's why what I was talking about. I'm trying to make a product that's going to be very different to hold in these Vivids.
Yeah, I need to have it.
I will. I'll let you test it.
Yeah.
I'll give you some to test.
I would love it.
So it's going to be next level, different kind of chemistry, but I think maybe it's something we need to have in the industry.
Well, what I tell my clients now is that you need a cleansing conditioner. So whatever brand you try to do, but again,
but they're not getting it. So what I'm trying to do is making a shampoo that can't lift.
Right.
And then a conditioner that seals everything afterwards.
Exactly.
So we'll see.
Right.
But you're right. Cleansing conditioners are the best way to go.
Right now.
I agree 100%. I have several of them. And
you can't skip the shampoo part.
They don't like it. They don't get it. They trip. It doesn't. You understand.
I understand.
So that's why I'm going in the middle grounds and I'm trying to find something. So I'll let you try it.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I think we need it.
Yeah.
Well, this is beautiful work, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, okay, what do we have next, Stephen?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, braiding.
Okay, so this is Carly, and you could see her color is not perfect here, and it's the reason that I had this video come on. We were doing a photo shoot with her the next day, and so we were doing blues and denim-y colors, so I didn't need her to be completely perfect, but she was a level 5 when I first got her. And the reason I'm showing this video is because of how many views and shares that this video got and how much hate it also got.
Yeah, that's how that goes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And you just have to, what I will address negative comments on my own page, but when they're on another page, I completely ignore them. I don't even read them.
Yeah, why not?
It's not worth it. But my page is only about positivity. So if you're going to come on my page, I'm not going to engage with you. I'm just going to delete it.
Yeah.
And then if you keep going, I'm going to block you.
Yeah. And then eventually you're going to send them a gallon of haterade.
Right. Exactly. But she's such a cute little nugget.
Okay.
And
she looks like a cute little son of a gun there.
she is. She's a riot.
She's a little firefly, huh?
She is.
Nice.
She's my model though that I use for all my photo shoots.
Oh, great.
Like my real photo shoots.
Oh, yes.
She's my number one.
Okay, I got to
model
ask
for
you a
that.
question.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer if you say,
Okay.
Patrick, I'm not answering that. So you know how like a lot of people don't know how to make money doing Vivids because they're not willing to charge?
Yeah.
How do you overcome that and what do you do?
My Vivids start at $300.
Okay, so you're on a fee base, not an hourly.
Well, no, I don't know. It's so hard because then you start compromising and triangulating and figuring out, and my brain just doesn't want to do that.
Okay.
So they start at $300. The second time it may be less. A big part of it is bleaching out their hair to
the
start
time,
with.
yeah.
And I have a friend at work, and I said, how much do you charge for a bleach and tone? And I was charging just the same as a tint touch-up. She's like, Stephanie, no. You can't do that because you've got to sit and you've got to watch it and you've got to be on top of it, and there's the cotton. And so I thought, okay, that philosophy has got to be the same when you're lightening hair for Vivids. So up front, it's a little bit of money, but once you've got a blank canvas, then it's a lot less for me.
Well, then you want to get them in before they have the regrowth issue as well.
Exactly.
Which can create banding and double processing.
Exactly.
So is that something you really discuss with them?
Absolutely. Yeah. And what I try to do for the health of the hair too is we try to do 2 or 3 times so that I have enough of a regrowth that I'm not overlapping.
Okay.
Because when you have a 1/4 of an inch that you're touching, that's going to get overlapped. I mean, there's no way not to, right? So I like to have at least an inch that I can then meet to it so that we're not overlapping.
Okay, so that's your technique. Good.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different theory on that. I just wondered what yours was.
Yeah.
And we have another question.
You have to charge though. You absolutely have to charge.
Well, a lot of people, they do charge by the hour. They do, by the sitting. And they tell them a realistic expectation, and oftentimes they only want to go so far.
Right.
And it just depends where you're at.
Exactly. And I try not to let people sit for more than 4 hours at a time.
Okay.
For me, like my brain's checked out at hour 4 and they can't sit any longer.
Yeah, my brain checks out in 1 minute.
Yeah,
just so you know.
Oh, okay.
I got a brain test. I wonder why I was like that. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm really focusing on you right now, okay? Wait, what's that over there? Just teasing.
No, but it's part of being creative. I think when you're
it is.
creative, you have a little bit of ADD.
Yes, you do. And you have to be careful.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you have a real fast processing speed and a real short attention span, it's interesting.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Anyways, sorry. So you're my therapist now?
Yeah, hey.
Yeah. Okay, so here's another question. It says, should all hairstylists start as assistants? I know there's I don't like that, but yeah, that's a question. And where else can they gain experience if they're not an assistant? So what's your
Honestly,
opinion?
I really believe in the assistant program. We have a great one at our salon, and it's about a 2-year program, but you're under your mentor for 2 years. And then we have a lot of classes at our salon too.
Good.
So I would say align yourself with a salon that believes in education and that believes in an assisting program. The way ours works is you assist for 2 years, you attend classes on site, it's mandatory for you. We also encourage you to go to trade shows, seek independent education, and then after your mentorship is over, we send you to Vidal for 6 weeks for advanced haircutting. You pay for that yourself, but from day one, save your tips. You're going to be going and doing this. And then once you've done that, you come out and you're on
pretty
commission.
Confident. Yeah, you're pretty confident. at that
Yeah,
point.
you just come back from Vidal, and man, these girls that are coming back, they can cut hair like. It's incredible the work that they're producing. And then you assist for a while and then you go on to rent. That's how our system works.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of what's going on in our society or industry. Some states, however, do not allow that, but here, and what you're doing in California, because we're probably everywhere in the United States right now, people are watching us, or in the world, because you probably have worldwide followers.
Yes.
It depends on your area, correct?
Yes,
but for here,
absolutely.
that's what you like.
Yeah,
California.
here we do booth rental and we do commission, and that's just how our program works. And I just really believe in it. I think that when you have somebody holding your hand for that time,
Well, it's a culture that you've created, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we talk about that all the time in our salon. We've got to really build up our youth, because someday we're not going to be here.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cleo, she's created this legacy, honestly, you know, and what's going to happen when we're not, I'm 47,
Yeah.
you know, what's going to happen after my time?
Yeah, like when you're 87, you might retire.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope I'm in Hawaii or Italy or someplace having fun.
Yeah, get the red rods out.
Right, exactly.
Remember that?
I look, yeah, right. I look at people like Anne Bray, and I look at people that have, you know, Vivian McKinder, and they are who I aspire to be.
Okay.
You know, they're not behind the chair, you know, working for that haircut.
Yeah.
They're writing their own tickets now and enjoying what they're doing. And isn't that awesome?
Yeah, for example, I was doing hair for many, 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 many years, and now I'm in manufacturing and education, which is great. What a path. You know, you never know where this industry can lead you.
That's right. That's why you always say yes.
Yeah.
You always say yes and figure it out.
And then you got to know when to say no, though, too.
You do.
I've been learning that lately.
You do, but at the beginning, if you always say yes
be
and
open.
then figure it out.
Be open-minded to it.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah.
I was a nervous wreck coming here today. I was like, what am I going to do?
But see, it's nothing. You're like, awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Well, because, you know, we're just talking, and
Yeah.
it's, you know, we're talking about you, and who knows more about you than you?
Yeah, that's true.
And people are interested. Like, I'm interested.
Well,
You can
good.
tell.
Good.
Do we have another question over there? Are we still good? Can we have another picture, Stephen, please? Oh, wow. Hello. How'd you get this picture?
Well, this is Carly.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
This is Carly.
Good old Carly.
Yeah, and yeah, she's just incredible. This was for a Pravana Vivids photo shoot that I did with a friend of mine. And yeah, that's her.
So what was the,
She's
did you
15,
flip
by the
her
way.
back? Did you flip her forward, flip her back? Was there a fan involved? How did you get that
No,
photo?
there's no fan. So I don't know if you're well, I'm sure you're familiar with Erica and Darina and their photos that they do all the time. Darina gets herself to just do this hair in motion, and they're so
Which is
beautiful.
tough.
Oh, it's so hard.
That's a lot of work.
So Carly, we didn't have a fan, and the photographer was like, "Let's go for it."
Just
and so
flip, huh? She's gonna
she
flip?
was flipping her head.
Yeah.
She was dizzy as can be,
Yeah.
but flipping it, and we got this great shot.
Well, it's hard when you flip the hair to relax the face.
Absolutely.
And she did it. She pulled it off.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
She's only 15 then.
She's
Wow.
15.
Wow.
Terrifying, right?
I know, that
Don't
is
you feel
crazy.
terrible for her parents?
Poor parents. That's gorgeous, though.
Yeah, she's
so tell me
gorgeous.
about what was going on there as far as, I like the way you did those tips. What was your inspiration?
My inspiration was plaid,
Okay.
a piece of plaid. How do you make plaid in the hair? And I just wanted, plaid. I don't know. So I just kind of played with the placement.
It's almost like a beautiful plaid peacock
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. That's what I'm seeing. But, you know,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's art,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, it's art, and
Yeah.
but that's what I was going for. I didn't win. I didn't, and that's okay. You know, it was about creating something beautiful.
I love it.
And I like to go back and repost that one every once in a while.
That's one you hang on your wall.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The photographer did a great job, and like I said, she's my model for everything. She's just amazing.
She's your muse.
She is.
Right on. I love it. Well, let's see another one, Stephen, if you could. It's probably a video, right? Oh, what is this? Is this a video?
Yeah, this is a video.
What do you got going on here?
This
Mix
is
master.
Yeah. So currently I call them house models. I have, besides my assistant, I have 3. And this is one of them. This is Rachel. And here you'll see in a minute, I was playing with horizontal placement. You know, everything is so vertical that I wanted to see what I could do horizontally. And so this girl, she came to me, she had virgin hair. Wait till you see how long her hair is.
Jeez.
She had virgin hair. She let me completely lighten her, and she lets me do whatever I want, and she's amazing.
Are you the one that did that the other day, the Colors of Autumn, and you did that blend? Because was that you?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it was
Really?
this technique, but with Colors of Autumn I saw the other day. I thought that was you.
No,
I'm
maybe.
getting confused.
Caitlin does some.
Somebody it was. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, look how long her hair is.
Yeah.
You know, and that she just lets me do
And you
whatever
got your
I want to
braid
do.
in,
Yeah.
and you did, yes.
Yeah, she's amazing.
We have another question. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so the question is, how do you get your vivids from running when you rinse? You know, running and melding into each other.
That's a great question.
Yes, it is.
So you use ice cold water.
Okay.
And high power, and do it
Blast
fast.
it quick.
Blast it quick. If you have an assistant or you have a helper, have them holding parts of it so that nothing is, her hair is super long. It's
Yeah.
all in the bowl. So we hold her hair out a lot and we rinse it section by section, super fast, super cold, as high powered as you can get it.
Okay, just
Yeah.
get it out of there quick.
Get it out of there
so it doesn't
quick.
have time to stand on the next section.
Exactly.
You got to watch the really lighter sections too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So do you like to do the darker sections first when you rinse and then the lighter, or do you just go in sequence?
I just kind of go in sequence.
Okay.
I mean, it just all depends on who I'm doing and how much time I have and whatnot. The other thing is that that's Pulp Riot again, and Pulp Riot does not suggest that you shampoo afterwards.
Okay.
It's very conditioning, so they say that you don't need to.
Okay.
I think when you introduce shampoo, back to what you were saying before.
Except for this new one I'm going to make, you're not going to have that problem anymore.
Exactly. You don't want the colors to run together in the shampoo process.
I'm actually calling it Color Keeper shampoo and conditioner. I have the
can't
trademark.
wait.
I know. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, I can't
Wish
wait.
I had some. Maybe we can give her a little to try
Ooh,
right before she
okay.
leaves, just out of the lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Oh, you got another question. It says, do you wash your Vivage after rinsing? And you just answered that. And it says, do your clients have a problem with them bleeding after they go home, like when they're in the shower at home?
They really don't, because we educate them. What
Right.
do? You shampoo your hair as little as possible, and ice cold water. I recommend they do it in the sink instead of in the shower.
Yeah, and then just put it up and get and then shower, right?
Exactly, and then I put them on a regimen of a cleansing conditioner 2 times, and then a regular color safe conditioner.
Right. So they just feel like there's more volume in their hair, and it's
Exactly,
like that, right?
exactly. So you do that every 2 times, and maybe that's over a 2-week period. They've only shampooed 3 times.
Okay.
And so it doesn't seem to be a problem.
So like when they come in and they want to make a commitment to this type of a look, you have to have a talk with them, don't you?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Girls, your life's going to change.
Well, and and you also say this, you're going to pay me a lot of money today.
Yes.
Do you want to rinse it down the sink by next Friday?
Not really.
No, because I'm not going to redo it for free if that's what you do. So, and I don't say that part, but you're making a financial commitment.
Yes.
Now you need to do it on the back end, right?
I agree. Another thing is, what would you say your percentage of, for Instagram, it's like when you're doing stuff on Instagram,
Right.
what's your percentage of people that you would get for Vivids as opposed to like your standard clients off of Instagram?
Gosh,
Have
Katie,
you ever-
what is that answer? I think I mostly get balayage and Vivids off of
Okay.
Instagram.
And what percentage of your business would you say that is?
It's still a small part of my business.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's under 30%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
And another thing, I did have an interesting thing, and since you're so smart, I want your opinion on this. There was a gal that came in here and she had a huge following, and she said, the one thing that I probably would have done differently now that I understand all this, and she teaches classes on it and everything. She says, I know that of the people that I actually make money off of, which you talked about, which I like that you
Right.
said that. What are we doing this for?
Right.
I like that. Because some people don't realize that, believe it or not. And she said, I say about 500. If I would do it again, if I had a focused 500 geographically to my area, that I'm
Right.
farming for people that would come to me, she goes, I would have probably not tried to go so high in my numbers, as far as the work it took.
Oh, okay.
What is I know you have a goal, and I agree, and that's fantastic. What do you think about that statement?
I think that it depends on what your goal is. For me, my goal isn't butts in the chair.
Okay.
So I think that once you get to a certain number, and I hope I'm answering this properly.
No, you are.
The doors open up for you.
Right.
Manufacturing doors
Sure,
open up for
sure.
you, and it leads you into different paths that are away from behind the chair, whether that be trade shows or education. So I go back to, what are you doing this for?
Right. So that's a good answer, because in her concept was that, if I'm just looking at building my clientele, this is not the most efficient way to do it. There's about 500 people that I want to be really tight with that are my clients.
Right.
But if you're expanding yourself into the industry and looking for other potentials, guest artists, collaborations,
Absolutely.
Working on stage. But you know what? That's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
It is absolutely not.
Right. It's not. And it's funny, that's why I brought my assistant here today, and that's why I brought my old assistant here today, is because I wanted them to see I'm pretty unique in my room of 50.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that's really doing these other things.
Yes.
And I want these young girls to see that behind the chair is not the only way.
Absolutely.
And none of it's wrong.
No.
But it's not the only way. And how big do you want your world to be?
Right. Well, I started out, for example, myself in manufacturing. Then I moved into doing hair for many, many years. Then I went back and I became an educator with manufacturers. And then now I'm in actual manufacturing again.
Right.
So it's weird how the path leads.
The evolution of it.
But it's also what you're willing to sacrifice, because believe me, it is traveling all the time. I travel all the time. I have a lot of stress running a business. I mean, but for me, it's not stress, it's better.
Right.
When I would look at my books and I would see the same people over and over again, even though I loved them, I just started to get tired of it. And I just had this feeling. And for me, it was like, I felt like a caged animal and I needed to expand.
Right.
And that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's me too. We were talking on the drive down here today about how, you know, you always, I seem to always get myself involved in the behind the scenes of whatever it is I'm doing. You know, I'm the director of social media at my salon. Why? Because I went and took an adult school class and I was excited about it.
But some people have absolutely, they go, I just want my books, I want to do my same thing, and I want to go home and I want to go to bed, and that's what I want.
Right, exactly.
And that's for them wonderful.
Absolutely.
But
there is
for
no
yourself,
wrong.
for example, myself, I wanted something else.
Right.
And there is that opportunity in this industry.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you never know what you're going to do. You might end up, you know, one of the girls that used to work, Sherry Doss, you know, for Redken. I've only met her once or twice, but she used to work in my town as a manicurist, and now she's running the whole show at Redken.
Yeah.
That was her path, and oh my God, how incredible is that?
Yes.
I mean, that is just incredible that you can
Absolutely.
you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, only in
know?
America.
Only in America.
I love
That's what
it.
I'm trying to teach my son too. You know, you can do, I said, you can do whatever you want in life, but I want you to be the best at it, and I want you to love it.
Yeah.
And if you love it, you will be the best.
And you have to make a commitment.
Oh, for sure.
That's the biggest thing.
For sure. But I said, if you want to pick up trash on the beach,
That's
I'm
okay.
I'm okay with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
As long as you love it and as long as you're the best at it.
And you know you're doing something to help people and yourself.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I agree. Very good.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Give
love your
back.
philosophy.
Thank you.
Let's see what we have next. Wow, hello. So now is that something that you know, auxiliary pieces that you used, or is that her actual hair?
No, those are, so this is a Naha shoot that I did 2 years ago.
Okay.
This is one of my coworkers, Haley. And we were going for
Kind of an African kind of
an urban-y look.
Yeah, I like
all
it.
of my girls, this is the only one I'm showing you, but all of my girls were very rooty blondes. And those were dreadlocks that it took me 6 weeks to make.
You made them. That's what I thought.
Made them. And then we put them in her hair and we made this cool style.
It's a great picture.
Thank you. I love it.
Now, how long did, because I know, but not everybody realizes, how long was that photo session?
Well, it was 3 models, 12 hours. She was our first model and she was the hardest, as prepared as we were for her. I installed those extensions the night before.
Okay.
But getting her in front of the camera, and I'd never done this before, and so it was, you know, getting your nerves out on the first one. And yeah, she took 6 hours, and then the rest of them followed after that.
Yeah.
It was easier, but she took the longest, and yeah, I still have those hair extensions that I'm going to use again someday.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah,
they're
really
cool.
Yeah, they're super cool.
And then bottom line is, with that, did you braid those in? Did you lock them in? What'd you do?
I braided them in.
Okay.
And then we did one look. What's really cool is when you work with photographers on Naha shoots, at least in my experience, they like to do the look that you do, and then they like you to kind of tweak it up just a little bit.
Give it an option.
Not take it down, but just tweak it a little. And so what we did on the second part of it is we cornrowed these pieces back.
Okay.
And then kind of just messed it up a little bit. And the second look was the shot that we went with. So
Yeah, I love it.
yeah.
I love it. Do we have any more questions over there? I know you're not raising your hand. Stephen, do you have, I think we have one more, right? Is that right? Okay, and then this is one of those videos that you love so much. Tell us about this.
So these videos, this video is my bread and butter video. I try to grab one of the girls 3 or 4 times a week to do braids on. This is a client who was getting ready to go do a middle school promotion, and she and her mom let me video this. But this is a video that went pretty far
Yeah.
Went to a lot of places, and it inspired me to make my own YouTube channel. So and I'm super behind on it, but instead of only having a minute, what I'm doing is I'm not editing anything and I'm letting it be 10 minutes long, and then I'm just talking over it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to expand into YouTube as well.
Where did you get your braiding experience initially?
YouTube.
Really? Just watching other people?
Yeah. How
and
do
getting
you...
the doll head out and...
Exactly. Cute Girls Hairstyles. I don't know if you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
This is a mom that braids her daughter's hair, and I started really watching that in doll heads. You know, it's funny, when I graduated beauty school, I could not wait to throw my doll heads away. And now I probably have 20 doll heads in my garage.
They're your best friends.
They're my best friends.
Do you talk to them?
No.
I was kidding.
But I have, when my son's been sleeping, I have tried to scare him with them, and he's so immune to it. He just...
Yeah, he doesn't care. Yeah, okay, Mom.
He doesn't, yeah.
Good try,
Yeah,
whatever.
good try.
How old's your son?
He's 21 now.
Oh, yeah, so he's probably like way over that.
Yeah, he's so over it now, but it's funny.
Unless it's attached to a real girl, don't put him in my bed, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And not at my house.
No,
Not at my house.
You go somewhere else, buddy.
Right.
Well, so bottom line is you're doing great. You're expanding. You're learning. You're sharing. What's next for you?
I don't feel like I'm there yet, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to try to give back in every way that I can, and I'm going to try to relax and enjoy it.
Yeah, like now you're like, oh, I have all these roses. Oh, these things smell pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right?
I'm I'm so next goal, and I just want to sit back and enjoy it now.
Nice.
Because
that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
And you deserve it. You've been working hard.
Thank you.
And we got another question.
Oh.
So, what is your favorite current trend? Okay. And what do you see as the next big trend? And I know the answer. Hair feathers. Just kidding. Sorry, I had to say that.
I made a lot of money on hair feathers.
I know. And then it stopped. One day, like, watch. Hair feathers mania to what's a hair feather?
Yeah.
Like in like a day almost, right? It was weird.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I made a lot of money.
Oh, a lot of people did.
All those elementary school girls.
And I'll bet you a lot of those fishermen were cussing you out. You're taking my bait feathers.
That's right.
So what do you see coming up?
For coming up, I'm still seeing Vivids aren't going anywhere.
No, they're holding in pretty good.
They're holding in pretty good.
This round, last round, they faded out pretty quick.
Yeah.
But this round, they're hanging in.
Yeah, I think that they're here to stay. I think that the foil is definitely coming back. So, you know, we go through these cycles and trends, you know, with fashion, with hair, and everything's been so undone that I think that we're gonna start to get a little shorter and a little bit more done.
I agree. More geometrics. You got to learn to cut now.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. It's time. It's coming. Do it now.
Because
we're going to have to learn to cut hair again.
Yeah, time to go back to Vidal.
You might even see a wedge coming back. We're definitely going to see the A-line bobs coming back. We're going to definitely see some geometric cuts coming back.
Yeah.
Some really interesting fringe or bangs, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And I already see it starting to happen. And I really think that that's going to happen strong
Absolutely.
again. The 80s are coming back, in other words.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so that's cool. And one of the
Except for the mullet, but maybe then.
Well,
maybe.
I mean, it depends on how cool you
Yeah.
are. I mean, because some people can
hey,
really
you know,
rock a crazy mullet.
Think about it. Business in the front, party in the back. That's what I like. Okay, guys. No, it's okay. Go ahead. So keep going. I'm sorry.
No. I that was hilarious. Yeah. So I just think that everything is, you know, it just
cycles.
It cycles,
Yeah.
and that's what I think where we're going. You know, in California, I feel like we're in the bubble.
Yes,
everything
we are.
is beachy, everything is undone and flowy.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that for us anyway is going to go anywhere anytime
Right.
soon. But I think that the 35 and ups especially are going to definitely want a little less lived in, a little more.
Something edgier.
Yes.
Something geometric, something very precise.
Yes, exactly.
And you know what? A lot of the young guys and gals nowadays, they don't know how to do that.
No.
So they're going to have to learn it, which will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. But again, I go back to our education program at Cleo's, and she's a big believer in the Vidal system. And
they'll show you geometric patterns.
Oh my goodness. And it is life-changing. You come back from Vidal. I took the set of Mondays. I forget the name of that class. But for me, as a working hairstylist, I could go to class on Monday or Sunday, I think it was, and then I could practice everything that I did.
Yeah.
And during the week, these girls go for intensive training for 6 weeks.
Yes.
They come back the badass hair cutters. It's incredible to watch.
Speaking of Vidal, I'm having Alan Bush tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Who is, a protege of Vidal, which I got the opportunity to eat breakfast with him and hang out with him sometimes because I assisted for Jean Chicot for a little while.
Okay.
Which they're good buddies. So
Yeah.
I was lucky. So I got to get all that and all that exposure.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so tomorrow we're having him, and he has the thing, the method, and it's very interesting, and it's a language and a method of cutting hair. So hey, if you guys see him tomorrow, Alan Bush is coming on tomorrow. So see you here.
I think any great hairdresser that you see, no matter what brand they work for, no matter where they live in the world, they have a Vidal foundation.
A lot of them do, yeah.
A lot of them do.
Yeah, well, it's more of anything else. It's a way to express what you're doing, a language, so that we can have a common language, so that we can understand what we're doing and teach each other and share with each other.
Exactly.
That's very important.
It's not willy-nilly, just kind of, how do you teach it back?
Right.
If you're just grabbing clumps of hair.
And that's when you become a better hairdresser.
Yes.
Is when you challenge yourself to teach someone else.
Yeah.
And I love that you're doing that.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate
I'm trying.
Yeah,
Some
what are you
days
doing?
One of the questions that I ask my assistant multiple times a week is I say, okay, when you get home, I want you to text me, what did you learn and how did you grow?
Yeah.
And so we don't do it every day, but I try to do it a couple times a week. What did you learn and how did you grow? Right?
Yeah, you evaluate.
Yeah.
I see them, they're out there shaking their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thanks for sharing with us. It
My
was
pleasure.
wonderful, and
Thank you.
now people get to know you better in our audience.
Thank you.
And you guys, if you want to see this or any of our other videos, just go to hairdresserpower.com on YouTube, Hairdresser Power. Subscribe. You don't have to watch it, but we'll let you know when Steph's on or whoever's on. We'll send you a little beep, and they'll go, "Oh yeah, I have time. I want to watch that."
Oh, I watch them all the time.
Yeah, they're great because
they're
it's all
great.
different people, channel neutral. You never know what you're going to learn that day.
No, it's really fun.
Well, thanks so much.
Thanks
for
you.
being here. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.